Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to become a nurse, but the high school edition. So if you're a senior in high school and you're trying to figure out the next steps, this video is for you. So stay tuned and listen for more. So this video was inspired by a question I got on TikTok from a high school senior asking for my advice because she wants to become a travel nurse. I realized in some of my previous videos I've already discussed steps to become a nurse and things you should know before becoming a travel nurse and things of that nature, but I never really started from the high school point. And so this video is dedicated to all my high schoolers. So if you're a junior or a senior in high school, go ahead and get a list together of colleges and universities that you are interested in attending that have nursing programs. Now, let's say you're interested in attending a college that does not have a nursing program. You can always transfer. You're not just stuck to that one school. You can always transfer. You can do community college for the first 2 years. If you're interested in a BSN route, you can save money and then transfer to a 4-year institution and complete the rest of your degree. Or you can, stick with the ADN route. It's really just your personal preference. If you want to do something like become a travel nurse, you can have an associate's and work as a travel nurse. You do not have to have your bachelor's. But if you're thinking about becoming a nurse practitioner or a CRNA or, just advancing your degree even further, you do have to have your BSN before getting your MSN or your DNP. And so I just want to put that out there. I already did a video comparing the ADN versus the BSN degree, so if you haven't already, go ahead and check that out because that will help answer a lot of questions that you may have about which program you should choose and which one is best for you. Now, you may be someone who decides on a university that has a nursing program that you are, interested in, and then once you get to that school, you may either not like it, or let's say you don't get into the program, or, let's say you have to move back home. Anything could happen. That's okay. I personally went to a university where I was very in love with their nursing program, and I knew I was going to go to their school, go to nursing school there, graduate, all that good stuff. I ended up going somewhere totally different, and so that happens, and that's okay, and I'm still a nurse, so it's okay. It's different ways and different strokes for different folks. And so more of the story is, make sure you're getting A's and B's in all of your prerequisite courses, especially your math and science courses, please. Because when you are applying to nursing school, they look at your overall GPA and then they look at your math and science GPA. And so let's say the minimum requirement is a 3.0 math and science GPA. That is all your math and science courses looped together, and they look at the GPA. And so let's say you already are at a 3.0 overall, but your math and science GPA is maybe like a 2.8 or, just throwing numbers out there, then you're not meeting the minimum requirement to even be considered for that program. And so keep that in mind. And if you have to take some classes over again, that's okay too. People do that and they still become nurses, get into nursing school, and they're great. They're successful nurses. But I just want to hone in on that because a lot of people do not know that, okay? When you're applying to nursing programs, they not only look at your GPA, you also have to take entrance exams. And so the entrance exam basically is it depends on the exam because it could be TEAS, it could be Kaplan, it could be HESI, it could be a couple of different exams, and whatever program you are looking at, they will tell you what exam you have to take in order to be admitted, and sometimes they even give you some minimum score requirements. But essentially, all of those exams are covering your math, science, reading, basically almost, I won't say similar to the SAT or ACT because it's been so long since I've taken that, but it kind of puts you in the mindset of that. And so it's not nursing content at all. This is not a nursing exam. It's a basic knowledge exam, but some of them, from my personal experience, are very different from the others. And so whenever you are studying for these exams, use the study material that is specific to that test. Don't think, okay, I have to take the TEAS, but I'm going to study with this Kaplan book or this HESI book because that TEAS is going to test you totally different from some of those other tests. And so keep that in mind as well. Also, volunteering is always great in hospitals or nursing homes, so you can already see a little bit of what it's like to be a nurse. It doesn't really give you the full perspective, but it gives you a little bit of something to put on your resume, because they do ask for resumes when you are applying to nursing school. And sometimes they will do an interview. Some schools do and some schools don't. Don't be afraid of an interview though, because honestly, you can look one way on paper and be something totally different in person. And so that can actually work to your advantage if a school is offering interviews. Now, once you get into nursing school, still strive for A's and B's in all of your nursing courses, because you may later in life decide that you want to attend grad school and apply to grad school. They look at your grades from your nursing program, like your nursing courses as well. They don't just look at, okay, well, what was this person's GPA when they graduated? Sometimes they look at, okay, well, did you at least make a B in all of your nursing courses? It depending on the school, depending on how rigorous that program is, and depending on how hard it is to get into that program, whatever it is you're looking at, they can be very specific and very particular about things like that. So still strive to at least make a B minimum in your nursing courses. Nursing school is different from college. It's like you have nursing school, you have college. And so in college, like in your prerequisites, you can make a C and still pass. In nursing school, it's not necessarily the same. In nursing school, for example, my nursing school, I believe you have to at least make a 75 and above, or maybe even like a 78 and above, or something like that. In my grad program, you have to at least make a B and above. And so it's totally different. What gets you by in your prerequisite classes is not necessarily the same thing that's going to get you by in your nursing courses. So come prepared for that and make sure you strive for that. And then once you get into nursing school and you matriculate throughout the program, you are going to have to take your NCLEX, which is the name of the board exam that nurses have to sit for, or graduates have to sit for, to get their nursing license. And so getting your degree, whether that's the ADN or the BSN, is half the step. You cannot work as a nurse with just a degree. You have to have a license to work as a nurse. And you have to have both. You can't get the license without having the degree. And so they work together. And so don't think, okay, I'm going to graduate. Once I get my nursing degree, I can work as a nurse. It's not over yet. You have to take the exam. And the NCLEX it's a national thing. So if you're in the U.S., at least, you do have to take the NCLEX no matter what state that you are in. And you can go ahead, when you apply for your license and you apply for that exam, you can apply for a compact license, or you can apply for just that state that you live in for that license. But I won't get into the details of that, because that, again, goes into another video that you guys can watch. But the NCLEX is going to cover everything that you have learned in nursing school. So it's very comprehensive. And the questions are not going to be the same for everybody. And so for me, when I took my NCLEX, I felt like I got a lot of psych questions. I don't know why, but I feel like I got a lot of psych questions. Some other people felt like they got a lot of L&D questions, such as labor and delivery, or baby questions, or, so the questions aren't the same for everybody. It's been a while since I've taken the NCLEX. And so by the time, if you're in high school, by the time you take the NCLEX, it might be different as well compared to what it is now. But your nursing program will prepare you for whatever it is, however the NCLEX is going to test you. A lot of nursing programs try to make their questions similar to NCLEX questions, so when you get to NCLEX, it's not just completely new and a shock for you. And so once you take your exam and you pass, you get your license. And my recommendation is to apply for teaching hospitals, or hospitals that have some type of new grad nurse residency program. And every hospital does not offer that. Some hospitals are not teaching hospitals. Some hospitals will say they are nurse driven. And so me personally, I would say stay away from those when you don't have any experience, because when you go to a teaching hospital, they are going to invest the time and resources into your education to make sure that you can be as successful as possible as a nurse when you're out there on your own. When I graduated nursing school, I applied for a new grad residency program that was at a teaching hospital as well. And I would not, honestly, looking back, I'm glad I did it that way. I would not have it any other way, because the education was really great. Obviously, there's always pros and cons in life in general, but the education was great. And so that is my recommendation. If you want to do things like travel and all that, I just want you to know that you do have to work as a nurse. Before you can become a travel nurse, you have to work as a nurse at the bedside. And usually 1 to 2 years is the requirement. 2 years is the golden standard. However, some companies and some hospitals will accept nurses with less than 2 years experience, but just come prepared, to know that 2 years is usually the requirement. And what I have seen is that some nurses with less than 2 years of experience, they find contracts that will accept them with less experience, and they work that contract. But then when they go looking for other contracts and they haven't hit that 2-year mark, they have trouble finding other contracts because some of these other contracts where they want to work say 2 years is the minimum and they're not budging on that. And so that is something I want you to keep in mind. The 1 to 2 years experience does have to be off of orientation, so that your residency, the couple of months that you're in the residency program on orientation, doesn't really count towards that. So if you want to be a nurse practitioner, you don't necessarily have to work at the bedside before applying to grad school, a nurse practitioner school, and becoming a nurse practitioner. Bedside experience is not a requirement for a lot of programs. However, if you want to be, for example, a CRNA, you do have to have bedside experience specific to the critical care environment. Nursing school can only teach you so much. Nursing school teaches you the basics. The basics, it will help you pass NCLEX. However, once you're out there and you're working as a nurse, don't think that nursing school education is going to be enough. You have to have some type of orientation into becoming a nurse on that unit specific to that patient population. Because, for example, I am a CVICU nurse. Nursing school did not teach me how to become a CVICU nurse, how to work in a critical care environment. Even though we touched on some critical care content, it was not sufficient enough to make me a good nurse, a good CVICU nurse. It honestly did not qualify for me to be a good CVICU nurse, in my personal opinion. So my orientation in my residency program was specific to cardiac, specific to critical care, specific to the unit that I worked on, and what I worked on, where I worked as a new nurse is specific to that. And so it built on top of what the foundations that nursing school taught me, it built on top of that. And so I just want to put that out there and explain why it is important to look at hospitals that are going to offer that type of education, because nursing school can only teach you so much because it's only so long of a program. So with that being said, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions or if I didn't explain something that well, then please feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know when I post my next video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.